The lights of the Dolby Theatre were blinding, but the roar of the crowd was louder. For golden buzzers had already fallen that night in the AGT 2025 auditions, and the judges were restless. Simon leaned forward, arms crossed, skeptical as always. Then the stage lights dimmed to a single spotlight, and a young man walked out alone. He had no arms. The audience fell silent. You could hear someone's phone drop 3 rows back. He smiled like he'd been waiting his whole life for this moment. "Hi, I'm Junior," he said into the microphone someone had placed low for him. "I'm 22, from South Central Los Angeles, and I'm a ballet dancer." A nervous laugh rippled through the theater. "Ballet? Without arms?" Howie whispered, "This better not be a joke." Junior just kept smiling. "I'm not here alone," he said softly. "I brought my partner." From the wings stepped a tiny woman in a white practice tutu, hair in a perfect bun. She looked maybe 90 pounds soaking wet. The audience still didn't understand. Junior turned to her. "This is Mia. She's my arms, and I'm her legs." Gasps. Phones shot up. Mia bowed to the judges, graceful as a swan. Then, without music, without warning, Junior bent forward slightly. Mia ran, leapt, and in one impossible second planted both feet on his shoulders. He stood tall. She rose with him, arms spreading wide like wings. And they began to dance. Not just dance, they flew. Junior spun on one foot, steady as stone, while Mia unfolded into a perfect arabesque above his head, 30 feet in the air with nothing but his neck holding her. The audience screamed. She flipped backward, landing in his arms, no, on his shoulders again, then slid down his back like water, letting him catch her by the ankles with his teeth so she could hang upside down in a split that made Sophia gasp out loud. Every lift you've ever seen in ballet, they did it differently. Where a male dancer uses hands, Junior used shoulders, neck, mouth, even his torso. Where a ballerina needs arms for balance, Mia used trust. Absolute, terrifying trust. Halfway through, the music finally started, Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, but slower, haunting. The lights turned ice blue. Mia climbed Junior like he was a tree made of muscle and bone, wrapping her legs around his neck, arching back until her fingertips brushed the stage. He walked forward, carrying her like a living crown. Then came the moment no one expected. Junior whispered something. Mia nodded. Tears already streaked her cheeks. He knelt. Slowly, carefully, he lowered himself until his forehead touched the stage. Mia stepped off his shoulders, stood in front of him, and for the first time the audience saw her fully. She was missing both legs below the knee. The theater went dead silent. Prosthetics were hidden under the long tutu, sleek carbon fiber blades you couldn't see when she danced on Junior's body. But now, barefoot on the stage, the truth was bare. Junior looked up at the judges, eyes shining. "We met in the children's hospital when we were 6. I had just lost my arms in a car accident. She had just lost her legs to bone cancer. The nurses put us in the same playroom because, well, we had the same crayons left." A sob escaped someone in the front row. "We promised each other that day," he continued, voice cracking, "that if we ever got out of that place, we'd never let the world tell us what we couldn't do. So I became her legs. She became my arms. And together, we learned how to fly." Mia knelt beside him, took the microphone with trembling fingers. "People always ask who carries who," she said, voice small but fierce. "The truth is, we carry each other. Every single day." Then she did something that broke 1,000 hearts at once. She reached into her tutu pocket and pulled out 2 tiny golden shoes, children's ballet slippers, faded pink. She placed them on the stage between her and Junior. "These were the shoes they gave me the day they told me I'd never dance again," she whispered. "I kept them to remind me who decides my story. Junior leaned forward and, with no hands, picked up one slipper gently between his teeth. He placed it on her right prosthetic. Then the left. The audience was openly weeping now. He stood. She rose with him, this time not onto his shoulders, but into his arms. He lifted her by the ribcage with his teeth and neck the way weightlifters lift bars, and she spun above him, arms wide, tears flying off her face like diamonds. The final lift. Junior threw her, higher than any human should be able to without hands. For one terrifying second she was airborne alone. Then he caught her on his shoulders again, perfect, steady, unbreakable. The music stopped. 10 seconds of silence. Then the entire theater exploded. Standing ovation before the judges even moved. Simon Cowell was crying. Actually crying. He slammed the golden buzzer so hard the desk shook. Gold rained down like heaven itself was applauding. Howie hit his too. Then Heidi. Then Sophia. For golden buzzers in one night, a record that will never be broken. Terry Crews ran onto the stage, picked them both up, one under each arm, screaming, "You are America's GOT talent." But Junior and Mia weren't looking at the confetti. They were looking at each other. Junior smiled through tears. "We did it, Mia." She touched his cheek with fingers that had carried him as much as he ever carried her. "No, Junior," she whispered, loud enough for the microphone to catch it. "We're just getting started." And somewhere in the back row, a little girl with crutches stood up and started clapping so hard she dropped them. Because for the first time in her life, she believed the doctors might be wrong. That night, two broken children who refused to stay broken reminded 10,000 people in that theater, and millions watching at home, one unbreakable truth. The human body can be taken apart. But the human spirit only grows stronger when it decides to hold someone else up. Sometimes the greatest talents in the world aren't the ones we're born with. They're the ones we choose to become. For the sake of someone we love. Never tell me what a person can't do. Show me who they're willing to carry. And I'll show you how high they can fly. You'll never believe these talents. Believe this. Love always finds a way to dance.